2 Corinthians 3:15 says something like, when they read the law of Moses to this day, there's a veil on their heart. But when they turn to the Lord, intently looking to him, the veil is removed, and then they'll understand. And it's interesting as that goes on. In 2 Timothy 2:22, it says, flee from the youthful desires and pursue righteousness, faith, love, and peace, along with those who call on the Lord out of a pure heart. So it's not a Lone Ranger Christianity. We pursue those things along with those who call on the Lord out of a pure heart. So we've got to really look to the Word and understand it. In Matthew chapter 13, starting at verse 10, the disciples came to him and asked, why do you speak to the people in parables? He replied, the knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heaven have been given to you, but not to them. Whoever has will be given more, and he will have an abundance. But who does not have, even what he has will be taken from him. That is why I speak to them in parables. Those seeing, they do not see. Though hearing, they do not hear or understand. In them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah. You will be ever hearing, but never understanding. You will be ever seeing, but never perceiving. For this people's heart has become calloused. They hardly hear with their ears, and they have closed their eyes. Otherwise, they might see with their eyes, hear with their ears, understand with their hearts, and turn, and I would heal them. But blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. For I tell you the truth, many prophets and righteous men longed to see what you see, but did not see it, and to hear what you hear, but did not hear it. And so, Jesus is saying we could always see these things. We can come to church. We can put our eyes on the Bible. We can listen to all these things. But he said, hey, some are not seeing it. It's right there in front of them. Some are listening to it. They're there listening, but they don't hear it or they don't understand it. But he says if we turn to him, we'll understand. If we turn to him, we'll make headway. We'll actually perceive the things God has been dying to tell us. We'll perceive the things that God wants to enlighten us about. And what could be more important than being enlightened by God? And he says if we don't do that, we're closing our eyes. So when we come to church, when we listen to sermons, when we read our Bible, are our ears partly closed? Because he says they hardly hear with their ears. They listen a little. They may do some, but they're not focused on God. They're not into those things. And we should really pray for our brothers and for ourselves for understanding. Because in Jesus Christ, we're all united in one spirit, and we're a united people. We should want to strive for one another in prayer. We should want everybody to progress. We needn't be jealous of others because they're more mature. We needn't be jealous of others because they come late at the 12th hour into Jesus Christ, and for whatever reason, we're jealous of them because they're celebrated as a new convert. They're celebrated, so we shower them things. And we can't sit there cantankerously like, I've been living righteously the whole time. I can't believe they're not celebrating me. You know, that's not a good attitude to have. And so, I'm just going to talk about Hezekiah for just a brief moment. So, 2 Chronicles chapter 30, starting in verse 17. Since many in the crowd had not consecrated themselves, the Levites had to kill the Passover lambs and all those who were not ceremonially clean and could not consecrate their lambs to the Lord. Although many of the people who came from Ephraim, Manasseh, Issachar, and Zebulun had not purified themselves, yet they ate the Passover, contrary to what was written. But Hezekiah prayed for them, saying, May the Lord, who is good, pardon everyone who sets his heart on seeking God the Lord, the God of his fathers, even if he's not clean according to the rules of the sanctuary. And the Lord heard Hezekiah and healed the people. And so Hezekiah prayed for them all. He was the king at that time, the leader. And so he said, you know, if they're not doing it as they know, if they're not customarily familiar with the things we're doing, may the Lord forgive them. And that's what we really need to focus on. We have Jesus Christ as our eternal high priest. We have Jesus Christ who was slaughtered as a lamb to shed his blood so that we can be clean. So let us not dare balk at God and say we sit there intent every second of worship, or we don't have any malingering attitudes that run back and forth through us, even if we're striving to get against those things. So let's be very cognizant of the fellowship we have. Let's be very true to the worship we have and the unity we have, because nowadays we're on computers talking to everyone this way. So ought we not to be more concentrated on the fellowship? Ought we not to ask for Christ's blood to be showered on our worship assembly? Therefore it truly will be acceptable in the sight of God.